Hi, I'm Amanda. You're watching Booked with Amanda, and I'm here to talk books with you. I am back today with a little bit of an advice video, I guess, or maybe just sharing the knowledge that I have learned about my reading habits in the last handful of years. This video is How I Read More Books. So, pretty simple title. I have 5 tips here that I follow that help me read more books. Um, so basically, maybe you can adopt some of these for yourself if you're in a reading slump, or if you're just trying to get more books read, you're trying to experience more, enjoy more knowledge. Definitely stick around and see what I do to read more books. So tip number 1, we have a very simple one, and that is read what you like. I know that lots of people still have some snobberies about different types of books, although I do know that young adults, romances, I mean, they're all coming back into the spotlight, and it's being more accepted to read just what you enjoy. So that's basically my first tip. If you're trying to read books you don't like, you are not going to read as many books because you're going to struggle. You're only going to read 10 pages a day versus maybe 100 that you could read if you had something you liked. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't sit there and think, I should read more classics. I'm not a good reader if I don't read more classics. Or, whatever stigma you have in your head. Just read what you enjoy. If you enjoy only reading Westerns, go to your local thrift store, buy all the Westerns, read all the Westerns. No one is actually going to look down on you, or at least no one that matters is going to look down on you if you're reading what you like. Reading is reading. It does not matter what it is. If all you enjoy is comic books or graphic novels, you know what? There are still words. There are still quite a few words in those mediums, so read them. Just get out there and read, and that is how you're going to read more. Period. The rest are bonus. The rest are bonus tips, but that is like my biggest tip, because the first time that I was like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm not going to read it. I just felt free. So write that down. Free tip for you. Next we have another that it kind of coincides with the first one, but the second tip too is DNF books. I never used to DNF books. I would be reading a book for 4 or 5 months because I never DNF'd books. Even if I wasn't enjoying it, I thought I have to finish this book. Last year, I adopted the, if you don't like it, put it down, period. Forget about it. Maybe you'll try it again in the future. Maybe you won't. But did not finish is seriously another way to not put yourself in a slump. Because when you have a book you're not enjoying, it's dreaded. Reading is dreaded. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to go and read this book, and I hate it with a passion, and I do not want to read it. So then you don't read it, and you sit and you watch Netflix for 4 hours, and you could have been reading that whole time. So definitely, if you are not enjoying a book, just put it down. Send it back to your library. Throw it back on the shelf. You can try again in the future. You also don't have to feel pressured to try again. There is no pressure if you do not like a book. Not every book out there is written for every person. Okay? So DNF is your new best friend. Number 3, audiobooks, which I recently discovered last year. For me, I am a busy person. Not necessarily outside my home. I don't work outside the home, but I'm consistently doing chores around here, or have other things that I'm doing that I need my hands or my eyes. Audiobooks help me fill that time so I can read more often than I would if I was just reading physical or ebooks. For example, dusting, I can pound back 10 or 15 minutes of an audiobook. Folding laundry, accumulate 3 or 4 loads, and then sit down, put on your audiobook, fold your laundry, And I mean, geez, if you go slow enough, you can get in a 45 minutes, an hour in there. Um, it's definitely good for those times. If you're a commuter, driving or bus, I know that some people can read on the bus, some people can't. So audiobooks are a great option. You're driving half an hour to work and then half an hour home. That's an hour of an audiobook you can get read. The average audiobook is usually around 7 or 8 hours. So, I mean, in a week and a couple days, if you read it no other times during the day, you can get a whole audiobook done. That's a whole extra book that you wouldn't have read. So I definitely recommend checking them out and seeing if they work for you, because they definitely worked for me. Number 4, we have always carry a book with you. Now, some people are going to say, I cannot carry a book with me at all times. I am also one of those people. I have 2 small kids, as I mentioned. My bag is already filled with snacks and diapers and change of clothes and all this crap. So I can always carry a physical book, but if you can, do it. Carry your book with you. If you can't, there are many options, many apps. Amazon. You can get books on Amazon. You can read. Kobo has an app. I can't think off the top of my head, but there's a bunch of apps that you can get books on that you can put on your phone. I'm going to guarantee you that not 100%, but almost every person watching this video, or maybe will watch this video, has a smartphone. And with your smartphone, you can read. There are ways to read books on your smartphone, and there are books out there that are free, that you don't have to pay for. So it is a really great way to consume books. I mean, you're at the doctor's office, okay, say you don't carry a purse or a bag with you, all you have your keys, your wallet, your phone, you can read a book. Fill those little snippets of time that you have throughout the day that you normally would sit there scrolling Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and fill it with reading. Those little snippets, 10, 15 minutes here and there, are going to add up to a book eventually, right? And that's a book that you wouldn't have normally read. So I say use your smartphone in a smart way. I tell my husband that all the time. It's a smartphone. This is a smart way to use it. So throw a book app on there. Get a free book if you don't want to pay for them. Also, Libby and Overdrive through your public library has ebooks, so you can borrow books from them and read them through their apps. Do it. You will read more, I promise. Number 5, the last one, is take a break if you need it. If you are pushing yourself to read in a negative way, something that is now causing negative feelings towards reading, step back. Take 2 days off. Take a week off. Take 2 weeks off. If you are associating in your mind reading with bad feelings, then you're not going to read as much because it's not going to be enjoyable. There are times where I read, if I'm lucky and my husband is wonderful, I can read 8, 12 hours in a day. And there are some days that I don't read a minute. Sometimes I plow through 3 or 4 books really quickly, and then I take 3 or 4 days off because I don't want to be oversaturated, and I'm starting to feel reading burnout. So I take the time to myself to do other things that I like to do that aren't reading books or listening to books. And then when I do that, when I recognize that I need a break and I take that break, I don't get in the reading slumps I used to get into. And then I get back to it and I read heavy again. So don't feel bad if you don't read for any amount of time. You will be ready to read when you're ready to read. You shouldn't pressure yourself, because pressure is not going to make it fun. And reading is fun. Reading is supposed to be enjoyable, unless you're in school, which I apologize. I am sorry you have required reading, and I am sorry you can't read as much for pleasure, but for the normal person who is not a student, reading is supposed to be enjoyable and knowledge enhancing, and it's not supposed to be a chore. And if you make it a chore and you push yourself, you're not gonna read as much. You're just not. So those are my tips. I hope that I helped some of you maybe think about other ways that you can add more reading to your life. But also, it's okay. Don't think about the numbers. If you're not reading 100 books a year, you're not a bad person. And you're not a bad reader. Okay? Any amount that you read is reading. There are lots of people out there that don't read. There are lots of people that can't read. So if you physically can read and all you read is one book throughout the entire year, that is more than some people, and you're doing wonderful. So hopefully I can help you out with these tips. If you have any other tips that you want to share with other viewers about what you do to help read more books throughout the year, do that below. Like this video if you enjoyed any of these tips, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I am happy to see you here today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.